Hi guys, today we're taking on Magnus CarlsEn at 7.5 and 8 years old. As you can see by the little embarrassing trophy here, I just got a stalemate against him. I was in a winning position and he did this little stalemate trick where he sacrificed a piece. And I was speaking at the same time trying to do this video and I gave him a stalemate. But so at age 7.5, he's got some tricks and I'd say he's maybe 1200, something like that. It's hard to tell, but we'll try and work it out today. I struggled playing these bots where I don't know what elo they are because I don't know how much time to put into each move. So before we get into the video, I just want to say a thank you to Ben, Paul and Mebsy for supporting the channel and buying me a coffee. There's a link in the description if you want to book any lessons with me, guys, just for beginners. I'm only a 1600. So yeah, I'm losing my job in 10 days, so it's a big thing. Cheers, guys. So age 7.5, Magnus. Having moved to Waterloo, Belgium the previous year, he spent a year enjoying football. He went to a Scandinavian school in a castle. He started playing chess when he wasn't pretending to be Harry Potter. All right, so we need to start respecting him at this sort of age, guys. He's playing a Scandi, so we take and hit the queen. Queen comes back, potentially some alignment issues on this diagonal. This b5 square, maybe for the bishop. But if here, they've got this pawn to block. So I say we just develop naturally and just be aware of that opportunity, which he's now covered up. But bishop out in order to push this pawn on d3. Nice cohesive development. Get the bishops out and starting to show some respect. Yeah, that last game I played him and stalemated, guys. I just didn't know how much time to spend on each move, but he's all right. He's all right at this level. So here, check. Do we get aggressive? I think we do. I didn't really like the anything else with the bishop. Maybe we should have sacked on this square. But maybe just castle and just start attacking. We've got this check coming. Which square is better? G5, E5. I think this is more central, also hits the pawn. This is central for the other knight as well. Although, oh, check. Was there a check? Oh, no, there's a check. Oh, it doesn't work anymore, though. That's a little tactical defense. Yeah, so there was this thing of H5. Check, and if pawn blocks, we take with the knight, because if their h-pawn takes, we capture the rook. But now this is tactically defended, because if check, pawn up, and we take, they take the queen. There's an alignment issue between the queens there. So we'd love to kick this queen out. How do we do that? Or we just bring a rook to the center, looks nice as well. Let's do that. We still can't do this tactic with a queen check. Don't think. But if we take this, damage the structure, that pawn can never come. If that pawn takes, queen here, the pawn can't block. And therefore they'd be in big trouble, I think. The king would have to move. Okay. So I guess we just retreat the bishop. Back to this square, defend the knight again. Okay, we're happy to trade now. We're up material. So we're going to try take on, once we get this game, we're going to try take on the 8-year-old Magnus, guys. It's going to be starting to get a little bit scary. But I'm loving this rook now. As things open up. Queen here, pawn up. Sorry, they take my queen. We've talked about this. Come on, guys. En passant? No. 7-year-old Magnus, yet to learn the true beauty of en passant. This looks very nice. Double attacking the queen with rook and knight. Also threatening this square. F7 for the fork of the rook and king. So they're attacking my bishop. Maybe like this. Queen out. Defending stuff. Knight back looks nice because the knight was on a bit of an undefended square. It also hits the queen. So I think that sacrifice has paid off. But let's centralize this rook in order to push this pawn in the center. When your opponent's king is in the center, guys, you should try and crack things open. Like that. And if we take here, we've got a very dangerous pin on this bishop here. So yeah, our rook's hit. Have we got anything good? I mean, even just staying on this file is just beautiful. So they're going after this pawn, but I don't think that's going to be quite good enough. I can lose that pawn and go for this instead, hitting the rook, also hitting the bishop, which looked beautiful, but we just hang a piece. But we didn't hang a piece. We actually attracted Magnus's queen to this square where we had this beautiful revealed, this beautiful tactic of the revealed attack with the alignment issue there. Yeah, it's annoying. I can't click back. Undo move. Yeah, I want to be able to click back so I can explain a certain position, because sometimes I go through it too quick and I like to go back. But yeah, I don't know how. Someone let me know in the comments if there is a way to do that, guys. I can't see it. Maybe it's up here somewhere. But right, so we're gonna come back with the queen. Might as well do it with check. They block with a pawn, very fancy. So there's pressure on the rook. So what if we sacrifice this rook here? It's forcing, so we should calculate it, right? Checks capture attacks. Sacrifice here, king goes to d7. Have we got any? We've got this check here on h3. Got this on b7. I don't think it does enough. So this, just lining up on the bishop. I mean, let's throw in this check. Just to force the king somewhere else. And some tactics may emerge if we just keep checking him. Let's grab this pawn. Nice bit of pressure on this diagonal with the rook now. Now the queen's out of the way. And then, I mean, this looks very natural. Hitting the bishop, hitting this pressure on this pawn, this bishop. Putting the queen on a very nice square. So if we push this pawn, maybe we can induce the bishop to capture. Queen here to protect this square. Okay, so that's the trade on the rooks. That's something which we want. Rook material, guys. Let's get some trades. This to allow this rook to come here to d1. Trying to trade the final rook. Okay, they don't want it, so maybe queen back with check. So what is it? We've got a queen for two bishops, so it's not quite over. You know, still got to win one of these bishops. Or just double up on the... Yeah, let's just double up on the 7th rank, guys. Like that. Although, we can never get mate. Oh, well. We can never get mate because this bishop always covers the diagonal. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Let's hit this bishop. So, okay. So if we take the bishop, they go here. Are they somehow promoting that pawn? Yeah, I don't know how we protect. I think we've got to take. Looks uncomfortable. So rook here looks good, but I don't know where the mate is. Magnus is playing tricky. Oh, here we go, here we go. Take. And we get the bishop. And now it's just simplified. Queen against rook. Much better. Grab this pawn. I mean, we could even sack the queen at this point. But we can push this pawn. Fastest way to victory. We've got to watch there is some back rank issues, guys. So let's not mess up. And now we can just push this pawn. think they'll have to sack the rook. Well, not sack, but... So, last time, Magnus got me with this little stalemate trick. So let's not rush this too much. Queen on the board. He hasn't got a move apart from his king. Let's centralize king and queen. And actually, I'm going to show you this way, guys. So, use the queen as a knight. So we've got this L shape on the king, and we just keep L shaping the king into the corner. But not all the way into the corner, guys. So we could do it. Do it one more time, and they go fully in the corner. And they've always got these two squares. They've got B8, A8, right? And then we bring the king. Still got these squares. And then we go bang. Right in the corner. So, that... Okay, Magnus. 7.5. That started to, you know, get the old brain thinking there. So let's see. I'm a bit scared. I'm a bit scared of what 8-year-old Magnus is going to be like. Play a new game. Do you want to see Magnus's accent, guys? Shall I try and... Right. 7.5. So 8-year-old Magnus. I beat my sister at the age of 8. I started to spend hours in front of the chessboard. Oh, God. And read my father's chess books. Everything from Find the Plan by Bent Larsen to Complete Dragon. Better refresh your reading list before you challenge me at age 8. Okay. Alright, Magnus. I'll take you on. I think I can beat you up to age 10. Or so my ego thinks anyway. Can't get beaten by an 8-year-old, guys. God. Yeah, so this looks like an actual opening. Let's get a knight out. Try and gauge. I've not Googled what sort of elo he is at age 8. I don't know. Maybe he's like a 1500 at this point. So, do we go for a dragon? Encourage the captures. If they capture, we just take with the F pawn and open up my rook. I think I'm quite happy. So we've got an open rook at their king. I think we're going to have to find like something to win. We're going to have to actually win it. Whereas I think everything before this age, you could just let them mess up, if you know what I mean. Okay, so that's a pawn, isn't it? It's just a pawn. They go check to trade the queens. Okay. They've got quite a nice structure. But I am up a cheeky pawn. So centralize and activate the knight here. This pawn is covered, this d3 pawn. So maybe just we start taking space. Also takes away that key square for the knight. That c4 square. And now what do we do with this light square bishop, eh? Maybe we push this pawn, just take loads of space and try and decide where we're going to put this light square bishop. I mean, if we trade down, we should be winning. We're up a pawn, we're up 2 pawns now. Okay, we can hit the rook here. But then what if rook infiltrates? Not too happy about that. Let's just get the bishop out, connect my rooks. If they take my knight, I recapture with my bishop. So honestly, I think if we just push here, we just got a pass pawn. Okay, we just keep pushing it though. Thus freezing their rook. And then, I mean, bring the other rook. Apply some pressure on this b file. Okay, now bishop can take. So we did give up a pawn in the process there. I did blunder that, to be fair. When the bishop nicked my pawn. But still, the power of the passed pawn was pretty decisive, I think. And now, alright, so we are winning, but how do we finish this? Knight here to reroute. Maybe get to this key d4 square and maybe attack that bishop. We take this pawn. I mean, I don't see why not. Just take it. So they could have taken there and given me double isolated pawns. I think thought that was their plan, but I don't know. They just seem to have given me a pawn there. I don't want to underestimate Magnus at this age at all. I know he's made a few dodgy moves, but I can always do the same. I've been known to mess up at these stages, guys, so let's show some respect. So this goes after their bishop. It gives them the opportunity to take here on h5 and double my pawns. What if we just go back? No, here. Allowing the rook to come here and defend against the knight. Oh, they're just sacking the rook. Okay. Sack the rook for the pawn. Oh, but then they get the fork? Oh my god. Are they back in it, guys? What's right? Let's just count up. 3 minor pieces versus 3 and a rook each. But I have got like 2 more pawns, but they are doubled, so they might not be felt in the position that much. If this to try and I mean, rook here looks very natural. I also want to open up my dark square bishop though. Trade the knight. I don't know what that bishop move does. I guess it isolates my king in the corner. So if we just take, king's hitting my bishop. So maybe slide this bishop back. And now pawn up, defended by the bishop. Although actually bishop can just, they can push pawn on my bishop here. We've got to bring the king. That's certain in these end games. I think they should have pushed this pawn. Because now, yeah, now king defends here. So there is a cheeky little check. Let's give it. Oh, and that's just a piece. But it's a bit awkward. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward here, guys. Rook here to try and always maintain the defense of this bishop. Yeah, the rook and bishop looked a little bit awkward there if he'd maybe attacked with his rook, but this is now fine. Hit that rook. Give a check. And another one. If knight blocks, we attack the pin piece, and now we've just got another trade on the board. This to now start pushing this pawn in order to, yes, clamp everything on these 3 squares, this little triangle, but also to open up the dark square bishop. So they come out, hit it. This square will be key. It stops the knight coming to either of these squares ever, and now also it gives my king a square to maneuver in. Should just be winning these pawns. Gobble. I love that little gobble noise, guys. Alright, so we're coming in. Push this bad boy. Going after my bishop and pawns. We slide back. And then push this guy. Should be okay. They've not got any checks or anything. They're just bouncing around with that knight. Come further up. And maybe this pawn would be a good one to push. We might have to sack the knight. Just checking there's no stalemates or anything. If there's check. So here? No. If this, they take my bishop and I promote. They've got a square to go to, right? Ah, they go there. But now we kick them out. They've got a fork. But if they take, I promote. It's just that classic thing in endgames, you're just permanently scanning for forks. It's a little bit annoying. So we've got a free piece. It's not a stalemate, right? No. They've got this square here. And then bang. We've we've defeated Magnus CarlsEn AJ. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos as we continue on as he gets older and older and scarier and scarier. Yeah, see you next time, guys.